I'm Shay.
And I'm Hannah, and we're Dinnernational.
And today we're cooking Syrian food.
So if you remember, at the beginning of season 2, Africa and the Middle East, we covered Turkey, where we did kebabs and mezze. So we're kind of gonna finish where we started. We're doing kebabs and mezze, but for Syria. We're gonna make some mezze that you haven't seen before. I'm gonna make Muhammara, which is a roasted red pepper dip, and I'm also gonna be making Mutabbel, which is a cousin of baba ganoush. I'm also gonna be making a Fattoush salad.
Different meze calls for different kebab. So this time we're gonna show you Kebab Halabi, which is a kind of kebab that's smothered in a tasty tomato sauce. So this is the episode where we're finally making falafel.
Alright, so for the mutabal, you're going to need to roast an eggplant. I have this nice large one here, but before you roast it, you want to put some salt on it and set it aside for 30 minutes. We've already done this. This is all wet. It's like leaching water. So I'm going to pat it down with a cloth and just kind of dry it. I'm going to oil this and put it in the oven at 375 for at least a half hour. I might need more time, might need less.
Aleppo kebab is famously called as Kebab Hindi, which is kind of funny because it does not really have very much to do with Indian food at all. This is a true blue Syrian classic. What I have here is 2 pounds of ground beef. Feel free to use ground lamb if that is what you prefer. So I just let this sit. This was frozen, so I let it defrost for a little while. What I have over here is 5 teaspoons of Baharat, which is like a spice mix. You'll find it in a Middle Eastern store, and if you're not able to find it, it's actually fairly easy to make yourself. Of course, this is a decent amount of meat, so I'm gonna use like a nice big pinch of salt. Call that 2 pinches, maybe 3. Use a little bit less if that's what you'd like. I know this is awkward because I used my hands to touch the meat. Some freshly ground black pepper. Make sure that all of your ground beef gets a little bit of the spice rub. When you're making burgers, they say that you should not overmix your meat. But this is one of those times when you can overmix the meat. Actually, it's encouraged, so it binds together properly. And if you guys remember watching my Afghanistan video, that's pretty much what happened. That's why it fell apart. So this is going to be a fun experiment to try and see if I have redeemed myself. So my meat is thoroughly spiced, and what I'm going to do is make little cylinders. So typically, I'm used to making meatballs, so it's like spherical, but in this case we're making like nice cylindrical kebabs. So this is kind of also reminiscent of our kibbeh. Have you not seen that episode? Go watch the Lebanon episode. I'll wait. No. Watch it later. Okay, so that's like a nice cylindrical kebab, and I'm gonna finish making the rest of these. See you in a bit. Okay, so I have measured these out into 16 little poops. Please don't be offended, guys, but I'm kind of stricken by, the shape. But once you brown it, it's gonna be. I guess. I'm so sorry. I just mean to say, once we sear this, it's gonna look a little bit better. Okay, so I'm gonna make a quick sauce. So this sauce is a little bit different as compared to your normal pasta sauce because it's a little bit more chunky and more textured. So these are 3 small onions. Use 2 big onions if that's what you got. And these are like 4 cloves of garlic that I crushed up. And I'm just gonna blitz this real quick. Alright, so this sauce is like a really simple sauce. It comes together like really quickly. So this is not like a slow-simmered sauce. So we're just gonna quickly throw together some of these ingredients. So this is oil that's been heating up, and I'm just gonna quickly fry these onions in the garlic. I'm not crying, you're crying. So some of our onion water has evaporated, as you can see. I'm just gonna add in the tomato paste. This is 4 tablespoons. And stir this in real nice. So this is a bit of a cheat ingredient that kind of helps you achieve the slow simmered kind of a taste. All right, I'm just gonna give this like 1 minute. While you were not looking, I added a couple of pinches of salt, by the way. So maybe like 1 teaspoon. Okay, so I'll let this tomato paste cook out, and then I'll add the rest of the tomatoes. In the meantime, I'm gonna go drain the water out of 2 cans of tomatoes. Okay, so our base is getting nice and concentrated. And now is a good time to put in some more of the Baharat, the 7 spice. So the reason I drained these things before is because these spices burn pretty quickly. So we just want to, you know, like kiss it with heat a little bit. Maybe just for like a quick 15-20 seconds. So fragrant already. All right, and then I'm gonna add 2 cans of tomatoes, water partially drained. So I did not discard the water, don't worry about it. I'll probably find a creative way to utilize it. Who knows, this sauce itself might need a little bit more liquid in a bit. So the idea is that if it were like a really slow simmered sauce, you did not need to worry about that. But we're not gonna cook this sauce for a really long time. So it's actually a good idea to discard some of the liquid so it's not like all soupy. About 2 tablespoons of pomegranate molasses. You remember this guy from the Iran episode? I love this stuff, pomegranate molasses. If you want a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of tartness, it's really good. I'm supposed to add some Aleppo pepper at this point, but you know, I don't have any of that, so I'm just gonna add some paprika. This is like half a teaspoon. We don't want it too spicy. All right, and I'm just gonna let this cook for 15 minutes on the back burner, and the sauce is ready, guys. So while my sauce is simmering, I'm just gonna quickly fry up these kebabs. I'm just gonna spray on some cooking spray, because you know, this is 80-20 meat, so it has quite a decent amount of fat in it already. So we don't want it to get like too oily, right? So I'm just gonna spray a little bit. I'm just gonna fry these little kebabs. Let's try not to overcrowd these. Okay, so I gave these kebabs like a decent sear. It's not fully browned yet, but you know, just give it like a slight head start because we don't really want it to cook all the way, right? So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna cover these kebabs with the sauce and allow it to finish in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes.
So we've roasted our eggplant for our mutabal. It's looking quite soft, just falling apart. We need to peel the skin off. It's a little hot. I know I should probably let these cool, but we don't have time for that right now. So I'm gonna peel this, put this into the bowl, try to not waste any of the good meats. And we're gonna blend this in a food processor with the rest of the ingredients. Also keep in mind, you can roast this eggplant over a flame. You don't have to do this in an oven. It's really up to you though. You just want to make sure that it's really falling apart and soft. So the main and probably only difference between baba ganoush and mutabal is that mutabal has tahini in it and baba ganoush does not. Okay, so my eggplant has cooled down a bit. I'm going to pour it into the food processor. I have about a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of Greek yogurt, just plain. Now that strawberry business. Okay, this is the juice of half of a lemon. This is about 3 cloves of garlic that I've kind of roughly chopped up here. And 2 tablespoons of tahini. You can just buy this at the grocery store, or you can make your own just by, you know, toasting some sesame seeds and blending them up. And we'll add salt and pepper in a bit so we can taste this. I'm just gonna actually, really quick, it's really good. So we left the seeds in, but you don't have to do that. You can take them out. We really don't care. We like an eggplant. So I'm gonna do a couple pinches of salt here. That was a little one, this is the big one. If you like things less salty, you know, you can adjust to your taste. And I do mean taste. You really have to taste this yourself to determine. Yes. That's very good. Okay, it is time for the Muhammara. These are some walnuts that we already toasted earlier, you know, just for a little while. Keep it on medium heat. Don't let them burn. I'm gonna grind these up in a food processor. So nice. Okay, so this is looking pretty powdery. I'll add in the pita that we blitzed earlier. We need a bigger food processor. We've said this before, we've had this problem. So clearly our food processor is pretty small. So what I'm gonna do is dump these out, blend the rest of the ingredients, and then by hand mix this stuff together. It's gonna be fine. We're still gonna have our muhammara. We're still gonna have our muhammara. So we have some jarred red peppers. You can roast your own red peppers, and we would have if we had the red peppers. We had jarred red peppers, so we're just gonna use those. I'd say this is about a cup and a half, maybe even 2 cups. And to that, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And this is hot pepper paste. It's a Middle Eastern paste that's pretty common. I'm gonna throw that in there. It's great for extra color, and it's really potent. It's so good. Half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. If you have Aleppo pepper, use that. That's more appropriate. This is 3 garlic cloves that have been minced up. This is 1 teaspoon of sumac. This is a nice tart Middle Eastern ingredient. And one more, our pomegranate molasses. I'm just gonna pour the rest of this in here. And we're gonna blitz this, and like I said, mix it back together by hand with the bread and the walnuts. Wow, this color and this smell, it's incredible.
So if you guys have never eaten falafel before, though I don't think it's possible because it's like so popular all around the world now. I mean, falafel probably originated somewhere in Egypt, but Egyptian falafel uses fava beans. And this is like your traditional Syrian falafel. That's kind of like the same kind that's enjoyed in like Israel and some other countries in that area. So this is just chickpeas. We are using canned chickpeas. Traditionally, they say use regular chickpeas, like the dried kind, but we didn't have any of that. So all I did was, rinsed it, patted it dry, and this is just 1 can, the 15-ounce kind. Drop a couple on the floor intentionally. That was completely intentional. You're supposed to do this. And we have 1 cup of parsley. This is just the leaves. So this is a cilantro 1 cup. As you can see, this is like a really nice herbaceous dish. I'll put some salt in there, maybe half a teaspoon. Okay, so I'm just gonna give this a little blitz and then do the rest in a bit. Okay, so now I'm going to push this mixture down a little bit and then add the rest of the ingredients. So we have 1 onion and 6 cloves of garlic. I just kind of like roughly cubed it because, I'm gonna blend this whole thing anyway. This is baking powder, not soda. Baking powder, 1.5 teaspoons. We're doing this in stages because we have a small food processor. If you have a bigger one, just do the whole thing at once, Why not? So this is flour, normal AP flour, just for binding. This is about a 1/3 cup. This is 2 teaspoons of cumin. Feel free to use a little bit less. Black pepper, and this is juice of half of a lemon. Alrighty, let's blend it once again. Make sure you keep stirring this because it gets kind of clumpy, and you want to make sure that everything is ground up pretty nicely. So give it a nice stir. Make sure that there's no like really large pieces of onion or garlic. Okay, so our falafel has been resting in the freezer for like about 45 minutes. And my hands are moist. I'm gonna start making these into balls so that we can give this all a little fry. So there's actually devices that you can get that make it a certain shape, but I'm not gonna do that. So I'll finish making the rest, then we'll fry them together. See you in a bit. So this looks like a falafel, you guys. I don't know what I did wrong, but it's nice and seared, but it's basically like a little squishy. It's not nice and firm like the falafel that I've eaten in a store or a restaurant. So I'm sure it tastes really good, but then it's just like a, patty. Maybe it just has like a little bit of extra moisture. I don't know why. So I'm just gonna pull these guys off and show you what it looks like.
Right, we're gonna make our fattoush salad. So this is eaten in other places too, but we're gonna make this for Syria. Okay, I have iceberg lettuce in here. So we're gonna make the dressing first. This is probably half a cup of lemon juice. This is extra virgin olive oil. This is 1 teaspoon of sumac and about a half teaspoon of pepper. And I'm gonna get the lid on here. It doesn't look good, but it's gonna taste really nice. Okay, so this is really simple. We're just gonna throw a bunch of stuff together, and quantities, you can adjust these. This is 2 Roma tomatoes. You can put 1 in there, you can put 3 in there. This is about a cup of flat leaf parsley, just the leaves. Ooh, this is a nice fluffy bunch too, I love it. And this is 3 little cucumbers, the Persian ones. I like these, they're nice and crisp. This is 3 green onions that have been chopped up. You can put red onion in here. You really can just kind of go nuts with this. We had some radishes, a few radishes sliced up. And here's some mint. Throw some mint in there and whatever other herbs you want to use, really. Probably don't do rosemary. And I'm gonna toss this together with our pita bread and some dressing when we're ready to eat.
What do you think, Annie?
It's good. I really like it. I mean, I have a new favorite dip, that's for sure. I really, really like the Muhammara. It is so good.
I know, these days it seems like hummus is so pedestrian.
Yeah.
No offense to hummus lovers, but then this is something new and exciting.
If you like hummus or spicy things, definitely. This is so beautiful. Red, vibrant.
Yeah, I love the color and I really like the texture too. It's like really tasty.
The walnut. You wouldn't think it would make like a perfect dip. A walnut. I mean, it's like amazing. Okay, let's try the
Mutabbel?
beautiful.
Yep.
Nice fork work.
Mix some olive oil in there, get some paprika.
Oh man.
So nice.
Yeah, I really like it.
And the Kebab Hindi, it's really tasty.
These are your standard, I mean, it kind of reminded me of pasta sauce and meatballs, you know? I mean, I don't want to, but it's very tasty.
But it's quite different in the sense that, don't you think that it's a lot more tart? And the meat is like a little fall apart, tender.
Yeah, definitely, and the spices in the meat, very good, right?
Yeah. I can totally taste the cinnamon. Maybe that's how it differs from garam masala. Like the Baharat has some cinnamon in it, and the cinnamon actually just like really pops. And you know, I can just taste it to be slightly stronger than garam masala.
Yeah.
It's actually really good. I'm quite enjoying myself.
I like it a lot. And I guess the last thing is the fattoush, which is, really tasty. I don't recommend putting the pita in until you're just ready to eat it, and it's probably not a good next day salad because of the pita. You know, it gets very soft.
So just make sure that you have everything ready to go, everything assembled, and after you dress it, just add the pita to add like a nice crunch.
Yeah, it's good.
Yep, I really enjoy this. I mean, fattoush is not something new for me. I have definitely eaten fattoush before, but all of these other new items, really nice.
Wow.
I would definitely recommend.
And what about the falafel?
I feel awful. I falafel.
Yeah, it didn't turn out like we expected, but that happens sometimes.
So here's the thing, you guys. I always want to admit to you when we don't do anything correctly. This is one of those times. I feel like there was too much water in the falafel. I don't know, you guys tell me. Anywho, so I'm not gonna cry over spilled falafel. I'm gonna finish the rest of my meal and I'll see you next week. Not next week, 2 weeks from now. Season 3, Europe.